All right, thanks, Amanda. A suspect in the hospital this morning after Hillsborough County deputies say he was shot trying to break into a home in Plant City. Investigators say this happened around 1:40 this morning at a home off of Gentry Road. When a woman came outside to confront the suspect, they say he started assaulting her, and that's when another man inside the house fired several shots at the suspect. He is currently in surgery right now at the hospital. He is expected to survive.
A massive smuggling ring was busted by federal officials this week, with 12 people accused of conspiring to smuggle illegal Cuban migrants to the United States for profit. And we're told that they allegedly charged up to $40,000 for each person they successfully brought into the U.S. News Channel 8's Victoria Lucas attended today's announcement by federal officials. She joins us live tonight in Tampa with more information. Victoria.
Paula, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and other federal prosecutors thanked the collaboration between the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security, also known as Joint Force Task Alpha, for this bust. But Democratic leaders I spoke with say this only highlights just how much folks are struggling overseas.
I can't tell people to do it or not to do it. I think it's very difficult. It's not good to pay a smuggler. People do desperate things when they're in desperate situations.
Victor Rudy DeMaio with the Hispanic Democratic Caucus of Florida says he can't give a straight answer to someone thinking about smuggling themselves into the United States. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi puts it bluntly.
It is not safe for you or for your families.
AG Bondi joined federal prosecutors in Tampa Thursday and announced 12 people were charged this week in a massive illegal smuggling and asylum fraud scheme across Tampa, smuggling illegal Cuban migrants, including children, through commercial airports into the U.S.
They charged up to $40,000 per victim. They used Zelle to transfer over $7 million over the course of this scheme, and I believe had profits, cash, of over $18 million.
Prosecutors say the group used social media to contact Cuban migrants, promised visas through fake European citizenship, and had helped to run it like a business.
The ledgers had dates of travel, money owed, airlines used, smuggling routes.
DeMaio says with a weakening economy in Cuba and limited access to food and medicine as in other countries, people in dire need will continue to seek refuge however they see fit.
You're going to always have people that want to come here to the United States for a new, better life and to avoid the issues and problems they have in their own country.
And federal prosecutors had this statement for smugglers, stating confidently they will be found, prosecuted, and brought to justice, no matter who they are. Live in Tampa, Victoria Lucas, 8 on your side.
St. Pete residents will soon be paying more for their monthly utility rates. City leaders passed a plan to increase rates on water, wastewater, reclaimed water, stormwater, and sanitation utilities. The city says rates as a whole will go up between 8 and 10% to pay for infrastructure repairs. The increase starts on October 1st. Now, this decision to raise rates comes amid a growing number of concerns over water meters in St. Petersburg. 8 on your side spoke with a neighbor who tells us she owes the city nearly $50,000 for a water bill. City records show Ashley Wright's water meter was replaced not once, but twice within a span of days last November. Before those changes, her average water use was just over 1,000 gallons a month. Afterward, records show spikes as high as 111,000 gallons.
First it was 12,000 and I called and I'm like, how is it this high? They said we had a leak, so we had somebody come out. And then it just kept escalating. I'm like, how is it $40,000? Like, we are giving water to everybody on the street.
Wright says she hopes someone will fix what she believes is a city error before more people get hit with bills they can't explain.
Well, the Florida Department of Government Efficiency is zeroing in on a variety of topics, including Green New Deal policies.
Yeah, this as Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ngolia continues audits statewide to eliminate what he calls waste, fraud, and abuse at the local level, all in an effort to reduce property taxes. 8 Interside investigator Brittany Muller joins us now live in studio with details on that. Brittany.
Josh and Jen, good evening. For the first time, we're getting a better idea of what exactly the Florida DOJ is requesting from local governments, positions and projects that relate to DEI as well as Green New Deal policies. CFO Blaise Ngolia calls them a leftist mission.
Florida's Department of Government Efficiency is sending out these letters to local governments across Tampa Bay. This one to St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch, requesting contracts, employee salaries, jobs associated with DEI, and any documentation related to clean energy, climate action, and Green New Deal policies.
What can a county or a city, what can they possibly do in order to change global climate change? I think it's just a leftist mission that they're wasting money on.
Pinellas also received a similar letter, and so did Hillsborough, which the county's Environmental Services Division Director responded that the county's commissioners have not adopted any emissions reductions or carbon reducing targets.
Because I don't think it's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
In this letter signed by Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ngolia, he writes property tax collection in St. Pete has risen over $95 million, which is up 75% over the last 6 years. In this one to Pinellas County, over $220 million since 2020. And Hillsborough, it's up over $600 million since fiscal year 2018-2019.
A lot of local governments are spending money on things they should not be spending on, and it's about time we cut that frivolous stuff out and offer people real property tax relief.
The city of Tampa says it has not had any requests so far. St. Pete, Pinellas, and Hillsborough all provided documentation, reports, and data to the state. But some St. Pete residents are now protesting the audits.
We don't need them telling us how to spend our money and how we should live.
State auditors say their report will take about 60 days, so we should see some of their initial findings as early as next month.
Interesting. So then what will result from those findings? Do we know?
Well, we do know that Ngolia has previously said that local governments are under no obligations to make those cuts, so this is all a recommendation.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. If you have something that you want Brittany to investigate, you can call our 8 on Your Side helpline at 1-800-338-0808.
County Board of Commissioners pushing ahead with a plan to discontinue funding for Creative Pinellas.
Let's get right to 8 on Your Side. Jenna Bass live in Clearwater with what comes next here. Good morning, Jenna.
Hey, good morning, Chris and Avery. Well, it certainly was not the outcome that Creative Pinellas was hoping for, but in a 5-2 vote, commissioners have decided to push forward with their proposal to cut the funding for that agency.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And with that, the future of cutting funds to Creative Pinellas nearly sealed. Last night's commissioner meeting was overflowing with artists and residents who showed up in solidarity for the organization.
Creative Pinellas has really changed my family's lives. Things like scholarships to summer camps allowed my wife and I to work. It also allowed my child to be able to experience dance, visual arts, and musical theater, which she found out she really loves.
The organization has been supporting local artists with grants and programs since 2011, and they run roughly off $1.2 million a year from Pinellas County. They host 2 galleries, one in their Largo headquarters and another at the St. Pete Clearwater International Airport. Several murals around Pinellas County are direct examples of the agency's work with local artists. Commissioners question Creative Pinellas' value to the county and are considering funneling their funds to an arts program with Visit St. Pete Clearwater instead.
Respectfully, Visit St. Pete does not understand best practices for curating, funding, creating, or administrating arts programming. What Creative Pinellas is doing, directly and indirectly, is building and sustaining a thriving art culture. It's not one-off projects. It's not tourist art. It's a community and a culture.
Creative Pinellas' CEO, Margaret Murray, told me the budget cut comes as a complete surprise. Last night, she requested one more year of funding to try and save the nonprofit.
Creative Pinellas has built a beautiful community through the work they do. It is that simple. In these times, what do we need more than a strong sense of community?
And up next, then, we'll have a final vote on September the 18th. If that passes, Creative Pinellas will have just a few weeks to vacate all their galleries, putting that timeline at October 3rd. For now, reporting live in Clearwater, Jenna Bass, 8 on Your Side.
All right.